Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this new key 29 entitled Night Life. So as usual, we're gonna first define the concept. What is it concretely? It's not partying, of course. Secondly, we will see the fields of application, the reason for being, and then third, we see different techniques, so 15 ones, and then we will see also 15 different tips and advice. So let's start with the notion of definition. Let's say what we are talking about regarding the notion of night life. Actually, nightlife is sleeping, basically, all right? So what's the main principle of it? Of course, this is relative to the fact to relax and to get some to recharge your batteries and to take some forces, some resources for you to handle a day peacefully and harmoniously and so on and so forth. This is actually a physiological need as much as important as eating, breathing, and so on. Okay, this is really, that's why it is the key 9. 9 is the end of a cycle. But actually this is linked. Okay, do we start today by sleeping to take some forces, like putting some fuel in your tank for your car, or do we do our day and then we relax? It's both, because it's a cycle. But just this is really in a holistic perspective, a global overall perspective, because someone who has a good hygiene of life, good food, good exercise, good mindset, and so on, in harmony will have a better, let's say, nightlife. That's to say, a good activity for sleeping and so on. And that's the point, because it's concretely two faces of the same medal. Is the second day that you have, in a certain extent, is the second part, the second activity, as you could have your job and then your private life when you go home with your family and so on. This is another story. Going to bed should be perceived as this, as adventure and so on. But for this, it's better to be in peace with it. A lot of programs, 35% to 65% of the people, according to different surveys in the Western countries, have difficulties for sleeping properly. And of course, if you don't sleep well, you have more chance to wake up and not to be necessarily at ease, relax. You're not able and capable to handle a proper day. You're less receptive, you're less creative, you have more anxiety, you are more, let's say, you are less tolerant, and so on and so forth. So this is the vicious circle, and the goal is to change the trend with a virtuous circle. That's to say, harmonious circle. Okay, the fact to have different techniques to have a better quality of sleeping. Of course, when I say it's exciting adventure, we'll see a special key 40, regarding astral travel, and because it is like exploring new perspectives. So this is a matter of fact, this is also, when you sleep, this is a connection with your unconscious part. Okay, so why? What's the ins, the outs? What's the scope? What's the reason why we want to have a better quality of sleeping? And also, what's the fields of application? There is essentially 5 ones. The first one is to establish a link with our unconscious part. Okay, inconscient. Okay, concretely, what is it? Is the connection and the link with the upper world, that to say the akashic dimension, let's say the invisible world in general, and also this is just the link for you to have a better creativity and so on. So this is like catching some information, decipher some information, something repressed sometimes, and so on. This is the second axis. This sleeping well, dreaming well, allows you, even nightmares, allows you sometimes just to repress things or to discharge negativity and so on. It's like cleansing process. Okay, personally, I estimate my life is harmonious. I feel good, I feel happy, I'm feeling in my life and so on. Sometimes I'm upset, sometimes I'm sad. It's happened like up and down like everybody, but 95% of the time, 98% of the time, I'm very happy, all right? But it's happened to me much more than 2% to have nightmares. And I try to wonder why, actually. And I realized that I had 20% of my nightmares, probably. And why? Actually, it's like, you know, a vaccine. Normally, you inject a little bit of the disease for stimulating your immune system. It's the same principle. In a certain extent, it's like if my unconscious part would like to say to me, okay, this is, you have a kind of sadness, just to yin and yang, to balance your state, I mean, your mood, your mindset, and so on. And it's a reality, very, I mean, often when I have nightmare, and sometimes it's really like anxiety creating, provoking, and so on. And I feel very sad, I cry in my dreams and so on, and I wake up and I say, oh, thank you. like I'm very happy to come back here. And I say to myself, oh, that's great, today I have this to do, and so on. And it allows me to appreciate even more my daily life, you see. So don't necessarily blame the nightmare and so on. It can be as well a way for you to emphasize the beauty of life, of daily life, okay? It's very important to be more in peace with this dimension, because most of the time your unconscious part wants to communicate, to give you, to reveal you some different faces of your deep self, or it can be just some visions, some angles, and so on. You need to decipher, okay? Decipher means to unveil, okay? Take out literally the veil of the perception, because if you dream about, I don't know, something, maybe I can have the same dream, it's not the same meaning, because this is definitely your own coding, okay? But there is some archetypes, like when you sleep about losing your feet, your teeth, or to be naked, and so on. This is quite common, all right? But so this is archetypes. But normally the dreams are a kind of personal communications. That's why we will see it's important also to write them and to try to establish a communication, and to try, like you know, discovery, like Indiana Jones, like a kind of explorer dimension, to try to analyze what does it mean concretely. But most of the time our unconscious part reveals us some information regarding our deep, I mean, higher self, and in parallel of that reveal information for the future, of our angles, some guides, some tips, and so on. And also is the fruit of creativity. So it can be also perceived as very, very enrichments, a richness, really a source of inspiration, and a lot of precious information, like treasures. So it allows you, of course, to take some resource, physical resource, and so on. That's a matter of fact. To be more happy, to be more in harmony, and so on in your daily life, and so on. And once again, you can take a pleasure with it. Personally, I love to sleep. I love to go to sleep, okay? This is important also, to be in this mood. So, 3 important pillars that you have to keep in mind. First, the notion of how long, it's absolutely depending on each metabolism. Each people is different. Each people can change over the time, okay? We have our period, okay? Personally, I don't sleep a lot, okay? I wake up, for example, today I wake up once again at 4 o'clock. That's why we are in the darkness. Okay, actually, I don't sleep more than 4, 5, 6 hours. It depends. Okay, it's not to say, oh, I'm a superior, I don't need to sleep a lot. Some people need 6, some people 7, some people 8, some people 10 and 12, whatever. Okay, it's just a question to be connected within your body, your needs, and so on. And I have some periods, so it means that for a while I will sleep normally, regularly, 4 or 5 hours, and maybe every 3 or 6 months I sleep like a baby, like 12, sometimes even more, 17, 18 hours. Okay, so but it's not good, bad, and so on. It's only like this. You know, it's the same principle as Da Vinci said. You see, Leonardo da Vinci, he said for food, if you want to be healthy, follow these diets. Only eat with will. So what does it mean? With appetite. Okay. Plus also the pleasure of the food for assimilation is the same for sleeping. No need to force yourself. No need necessarily to say, oh, I need that quota and so on. Feel it. Okay. It can change. Okay. A period for 1 month. In winter, you sleep like 8 hours, 9 hours. You need it. You need it. What's the point? Okay. So try to adjust that. Okay. Very important. It depends on. There is no. You have to, you're an adult is only 7 or 8 hours. It's absolutely not a absolute truth. It is basically subjective. Very important to listen to your body, to feel when is your good moments, your rhythm, and so on. If some people need to go late, some people need to be early, and so on. You feel it, and there is moments. So it's like a kind of yeah, you have some cycles to go or not, and also to appreciate basically the fact to sleep, okay, because it's also a way of exploring, and also it's very nice. It's nice activity as well. You relax and so on. You discover it's like watching a movie in 3D with an interaction. It's like simulation and so on, and it's super rich. Okay, so. Here we are regarding the different techniques. So I have 15 ones, okay? So different ones. So for example, some, let's say standards like drinking, you know, like verbena, okay, before sleeping is good. But there is different ones that you can buy in the supermarket or the specialists, you know, they just take care of herbals and so on. They have this special recipe that you can to facilitate the sleep. Otherwise, you have also, for example, a basic apple. An apple just after eating is good for digestion, and also it's activate the melatonin. Melatonin is the hormones generated by the pineal gland. Okay, that's to say your third eye is an organ, it's not a fantasy, and it allows to regulate the circadian cycles. Okay, so it's important, and so it's good half an hour before sleeping to eat an apple, for instance. Okay, another way that's lavender. Lavender is excellent for sleeping. So you have different levels. Either you have just a small lavender pure that you put in a bag and you close to your pillow and so on. This is what's in France a lot of mummies are doing for the kids. It's working well, but the effect is quite. I mean, is minimum. Let's say. You can also have some spray, okay, which is on your pillow, working quite well, and then quite intense. I mean, I used to do it regularly in the past, and it's working very well. Is lavender, and you just put in water, hot water, and then you let soaking, okay, infusing, okay, and just you drink. Honestly, the taste is not very good. It's like drinking like toilets, you know, spray and so on. It's not super super nice, but you can. It's not disgusting, but it's so, let's say. And you can add, for example, some honey as well, just if you want more sweety. It's good as well, but it's work a lot. So a teaspoon or a coffee spoon is enough. Okay, be careful about the dose. Okay, personally, I used to put too much. Honestly, I slept like a baby, but too much, really too much. I wake up like when you take, you know, some pills for sleeping, and then you are like this. You have very big eyes and so on, and it's not super nice. So, don't abuse. Do it step by step. You do a test with just a small spoon, a teaspoon or coffee spoon, and you just put a little bit, and then you adjust according. remember I was in Shanghai, I said that to a colleague, and he said, oh, maybe he's exaggerating, and so on and so forth. He tried, and also he had really the feeling he just felt asleep with his wife in the sofa and so on. It never happened to him before, so it's quite hard. Okay, I mean, it depends the dose you use. Okay, another kind of grandma recipe is the following: to use some half, or let's say 1 spoon of coffee spoon or spoon of cinnamon. Okay, cinnamon plus hot water plus honey. Okay, a little bit. You let it 10 minutes, and then you drink it. Okay, just half an hour before sleeping. Not too much, otherwise you will wake up for peeing, and you will break your night. Except if you practice astral travel, and you won't, because we will see that it's a good way to wake up at 3 o'clock just to do astral travel, for instance. But there's another story. We'll see that in the key 40. So just basically what I try to tell you, just that this recipe works quite well. Then you can use some melatonin, so it's through some pills. It works well as well, because melatonin are the hormones generated when you go. You want to sleep actually. So it's activated naturally through your third eye, your pineal glands. But you can also have some pills, especially for jet lags and so on. There is also variation like kava, like valerian roots, working quite well as well. Ask for your doctor eventually, or any specialist. I invite you to count the ships as well as a technique. I know it's quite childish way, but actually it's working well. And why is this counting ships? It's the same principle that meditation. Okay, meditation, when you just focus on one point, like visually, or just so zazen, or breathing like vipassana, or repeating ceaseless word. It is just to occupy your consciousness. Okay, so counting allows you. Another slightly different, you do a countdown from 1000 till 0. Okay, you can count. Usually it's quite long, because it's more than 15 minutes. And why on this order? Because it's quite complicated. Okay, so complicated is 1999 and so on. You visualize the figures, and also you do it. Okay, in your mind, of course. Most of the time you sleep before arriving to 0. Okay, so. But why? Because it's like, for example, when you are holding something, it's not necessarily very heavy, but after a while you just you're not comfortable. Okay, you don't have cramps, but at least, and just actually you just want to take it out. Okay, so it's the same principle. It's just the fact that you, after a while, you count, and you just want let it go. And sleeping is like a way to release, actually. So that's the point, actually. That's why we do, and we recommend that. Another technique is to repeat ceaselessly a word, like self-conditioning, but like, I feel good, I feel relaxed, I feel getting more and more relaxed, and so on. Like this kind of thing, for putting into a type of relaxation and so on. So this prepares yourself, your mind, and so on, to be in a good position over that. Very important to remember in a very fast way your day, like like a movie, but from the end till the morning, and then from the morning till the end, like this, but accelerated. Okay, timeline, but important moments. So you see when you went to bed and so on. So it is not supposed to last more than 10 minutes for one, and back and forth is 20 minutes maximum. Okay, and this same will allows you to be grateful for what the day brought you and so on. Okay, but in parallel of that, it was quite busy. It was tiring finally. Okay, it was so tiring, so intense that now I have my moment. I can let it go. So yeah, a lot of chance also to sleep before having finished, basically. Another way is to visualize a road, whatever, motorway or whatever, okay, a road, and you perceive that you go very, very fast, a car, whatever, a plane, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, just vision, like when you watch a movie and so on, like if you were going at 300 kilometers, something very, very fast. And why? Because the speed is kind of hypnotic dimension. It brings rapidly a notion of trance, okay? Because it's calm, is a paradox, but it calms you because it's very, I mean, it's quick, it's fast, and so on, okay? Fast and furious, okay? So I invite you to do this test as much as you can, as long as you can, and you continue like this, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, until you sleep, you fall asleep. This works quite well, depending on people, of course. Then another way is to visualize some stairs. So it can be linear stairs or, like this, in spiral. Why in spiral? Also because this is a notion of activation of DNA, stimulation of DNA, stimulation of the golden number, and so on. So it's kind of sacred geometry activation, but for your unconscious part. The key factor of success of these techniques is the fact to really feel the fact you are, okay, getting down into your unconscious part. Okay, that's what we recommend for relaxation, for hypnosis, self-hypnosis, for all types of techniques to just, okay, to go to dig and to go more and more deeply in your unconsciousness. Okay, so the feeling to really go to get down. So you can do, for instance, personally, when I was in Shanghai, I was living in a building. Most of them, there are 30 floors, and I used to live in the 28th one, and I used to go down by like this, just to feel it, okay, to really have it. It's like when you do an activity like kayak or skiing and so on, and not necessarily you used to do it regularly, and on nights before going to sleep, you have really the feeling to still, paddling or skiing and so on. It's the same principle. If you do at least once a day, okay, like doing this notion of getting down through the steps, the stairs, but consciously, you have more chance to visualize and to really feel it, and it will brings you progressively to a kind of state of trance, and also to fall asleep, of course. Another way is the breathing. Okay, hyperventilation is a good one. For instance, this one that we saw for the key 23, which is okay, you do it longer, of course, like 30 seconds is already working well. Okay, 30 seconds, 1 minute, not more, because then it can it be too much. But just this, and then the amplitudes. Okay, normal breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Normal during your day. Okay, consciously, unconsciously. But if you reduce this amplitude more and more like this, okay, very thin, very neutral. Okay, like you even don't have, if naturally is like this, you reduce like that, and then you don't even see the difference, because it's so, let's say, neutral. It's really, you don't see the difference in between breath in and breath out, and this brings you calmness. That's why when you wake up, you can do the test, you can see that your breath is never, you never breath like this when you wake up naturally. Of course, it's really, really discreet in a certain extent. So if you voluntarily activate, you reduce your rhythm, it will affect your mood, and also it will bring you calm. Okay, another way is, of course, meditation and mindfulness. The more you practice daily mindfulness and meditation, the more able you are to sleep and also to have lucid dreams. Okay, this is another story, is exploration of consciousness and consciousness. But just the fact to do it a little bit just before sleeping, like 5 minutes, okay, either you do like this, okay, you just empty your mind, okay, and like this you have more chance to sleep, or you do lay down, and if you sleep, it's even better, okay. So you just empty your mind with the techniques we know, repeating the word, focusing on your breath, reducing it, for example, or just focusing on a dot or something you visualize here. It can be a triangle for activating your third eye and so on, whatever, but something simple for you just to focus. And then if you have a thought, you come back to the point. And then like this, you banana, as we say, for occupying your mind, that's to say, your monkey mind. All right, so this is one of the important techniques, and also to feel the fact to be really, really heavy, okay? Like this is what we use in hypnosis and also self-hypnosis, is the fact to feel heavy, in the sense that, so to access to a certain calm, it's very important to visualize first and to engage all your members, okay? Like your hands, like your fist, like your arms, and so progressively you do like this, and you release, like this, all your members, all your shoulders, your legs and so on. And why? Because when you press, then we discharge, okay, like a massage, okay, it's the same principle. So if you do that, plus after a while, you really feel that you are like anchored, but like very heavy, and it's like you have the feeling like you can auto-conditionate like this, that I feel very heavy, I feel very heavy in your perception, like this, your body has the feeling really not to be able to move because it's too difficult and so on, and then it's facilitates to fall asleep. This is a good way as well. Very important, the music as well that you use. Relaxing music, not hard, heavy metal, of course, but for instance, some theta waves. Theta waves is in between 4 and 7 hertz. Okay, it's to start to fall asleep. Then also some of other are from zero point 0.1 to 4 hertz, which is delta. This is the deep sleep, delta in between 0.1 and 4 hertz. Okay, so this is more for deep sleep. So you can check on internet and sleeping music and so on. Most of them, they use that. Okay, so at first just to fall asleep, then to really, you can have a session of 8 hours, 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours is the maximum of YouTube, but it's work well. But just one thing, so for example, in the one we propose to you as an exercise, there is some, but you cannot hear. Oh, it's beautiful waves, you cannot hear. Okay, it's like infrared or ultraviolets. You cannot see them. I mean, visually, human beings cannot, some animals can. Same for this. Hertz under 20, you can absolutely not hear anything. Okay, so, but this is touching your unconscious part. Okay, this is important. So I invite you to use these different techniques of relaxation to also actually to bring something, to bring a kind of routine, ritual, and so on, that we will see also for the different advice. So then, of course, I invite you to do the tests with this guide meditation that we propose to you, which is done at the beginning with, you know, like it's quite aggressive and so on, because to create this notion of a bit fear and then relax, and you know, like a storm, and after the storm, the calm, and so on. And then there is all metaphor. It's poetic. It's a metaphor, and also the sound, the lyrics, the way, and so on. We use some music, so some waves plus some music to calm. And also the accompaniment, let's say the journey is made for you really to literally to let it go and to enjoy your journey and so on. And also you will visualize there is some Dolby surround sound. So it means that sometimes you have the feeling, okay, there is my voice, and then somewhere else there is another voice and so on. also some superposition of sound for you to lose your mind, lose control, and so on. So it's supposed to be a good moment. So I really invite you to do the test once, two, three different times for you to fall asleep more harmoniously. Here are some tips. First, it's very important to go to bed when you really feel it, when you feel sleepy, okay? No need to go and you know that your eyes are like this, you're really excited. This is pointless. It's useless because otherwise it's gonna create frustration, stress, anxiety if you want to, I want to sleep. You know, it's like you say to someone, you take it and be spontaneous or be fun. Okay, but I don't feel it like this. You know, it's you cannot. You know, it's the same. To be in good condition is the same principle. Okay, I'm gonna do a parallel. We'll see a key for that, so sexuality. For some men have some problem of erection. Okay. It can be old men, but it can be also young men, 20, 25, and so on. And why? It can be due to a stress, okay? For example, I don't know, the condom and so on, whatever. And due to the stress to be able to put it or and so on, the stress can affect the quality of the erection. So what we recommend, sometimes some doctors are doing, they give them a kind of Viagra or this kind of thing. They are not very old, but it's just for them to be in a process, just for a short period of time, like just 1 week or a few times, like 2 or 3 times, just for them to see that, to be confident. Okay, I know that I will be not stressed, and because it will work naturally thanks to this, and so on. So this is the same phenomenon. That's why it's important to listen to your body and to not to force yourself to go to sleep if you don't need. Okay, wait a little bit more, take a book and so on, organize your day according to the moments. Okay, we have moments. Okay, there is cycles. Can be the first service can be at 10 o'clock. Go there at this moment, and if not 11 o'clock, don't go. Wait for maybe midnight. Okay, this is important too. Do some sport. Of course, if you do sport during the day, not every day necessarily, but at least you sleep better, as a matter of fact. Okay, not too much sport before sleeping, of course, because don't go for running 5 minutes or half an hour before sleeping is not good at all. Okay, sport, of course, private sport like sex and so on is different. Why? Because usually it's spring after oxytocin, which is an hormone of happiness, and then it brings also naturally notions. That's why a lot more for the men. That's why a lot of men then they sleep like baby just after. Okay, like sometimes 5 minutes after the end, and okay, so this is okay. Sex is activity, physical activity, but it's all right for this. But not running, not doing really intensive aerobic and so on and so forth. Okay, so avoid that, but sport is highly recommended for having a good quality of sleep. Avoid to eat too much 2 or 3 hours before. Okay, if you go to bed, you have more chance not to sleep well or just to fall asleep, and then you wake up during the night because of the digestion and so on. It will be not good. It can affect also the quality of your dreams, nightmares, and so on. And you will not be comfortable, and it will be not good for a good quality of sleep. Another one, avoid alcohol or even drugs. Is sure drugs, cannabis and so on affect your paradoxal dreams. It means that sleep and your dreams, most of those who smoke irregularly, they don't remember their dreams and so on. So they cannot establish the connection with the messages that your unconscious part gives you and so on. They are less creative and so on and so forth. And also it affects the mood. After a while, if you smoke every day, you have more chance to be depressed, as a matter of fact, because the connection of your neurons for hormones of happiness, dopamine and so on, they are affected. Okay, it's break the connection. So that's the point. But in general, even alcohol is not good to abuse before sleeping. That's why some people, they sleep, are completely drunk, they sleep maybe 12 hours, but it's not a good quality of sleep. It's like when you take a lot of pills, drugs for sleeping, just for this. It is okay, legal, this is, but you are like this when you wake up because you slept too much, and then is not a good quality of paradoxal sleeping, okay, which is the deep sleep, okay. This is not good for so, and once again, you can fall asleep quickly, and then you will wake up 1 hour later, and then you cannot sleep, and so on. And so is really to avoid, or at least to minimize one drink is okay, and 2 drink is okay, 2 glasses is okay, but not to abuse in general. This very important. Cure of light, okay, luminotherapy, light therapy. Why? Because it's activates. So if you don't have the chance to have the sun and so on. Personally, I choose initially business, to travel, to discover the world, the culture, people, and so on. And also because I'm come from north of France, close to the border, originally 20 years ago, is equivalent to the weather in England and so on. It's running all the time, and I missed so much. So the sun, the light actually, and I just discovered that I wanted to discover the world first, but also it was a quest, the quest of sun, the quest of light, which was certainly my life motive. Okay, but and also because I was not, when I was young, I was most of the time not depressed all the time, but not very in good mood actually. And I just discovered I was breathing badly, not oxygenating my brain, and secondly, I was missing some lights. So when I was in Shanghai during winter, there is not necessarily a lot of light. I had some light, some special light, and special light or even basic light. And you just go in front of it like this, and you just stay 15 minutes per day is enough. Why? Because it's activating your pineal gland, again, the third eye. Okay, this organ which regulates, synchronize you, what we call circadian cycles. Okay, so this is the we have 4 or 5 cycles during the night, and this is a good regulation. Okay, and the link, the emission also of melatonin, which is an hormone to sleep well. Okay, so the fact to do just that 15 minutes a day, you can do it, for example, for your meditation, it's good, you have it, but not before sleeping. During the day is different. Okay, before sleeping, on the other way around, we recommend to reduce step by step the light. Okay, avoid the hospital light sometimes from a stadium. Avoid that. Okay, you reduce step by step. You can even put some candles and so on, and it's good. Why? Here in Bali, a lot of people are more connected to. They wake up with the sun, usually at 5:36 naturally, and also they sleep quite early. Okay, 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock is true, or even more, but they are let's say connected to the natural flow, and it's a way that we will see for our next key. When you have the light rising, you wake up your mind. Okay, and because your pineal gland catch this. It's the same principle. On the other way around, it's good to reduce systematically. Maybe half an hour before sleeping, you will reduce step by step. If you have a way to do it naturally, it's even better. There is special lamps for that you can buy. Otherwise, you just do it manually. Okay, it's the same effect as well. But it's good to reduce your light because you decrease. So, on the same idea, avoid definitely to use tablets, computer before half an hour before sleeping. Why? Because the tablets and the computer is some light, which is a project to your eyes. It's different when you have a ebook reader. It's different because this is natural. This is not a light projected on your eyes. It is natural. Okay, so this is okay. But a tablet, I will not quote a mark, but brand, but whatever is not good. Mobile and so on. You squeeze half an hour before. okay, finish, switch off, goodbye, good night, before, okay, because you are in a process of preparation of sleeping properly, okay. So another thing is to avoid, we were talking about the avoid to check your emails before sleeping, okay. Why? Because you will be stressed, you will be focused on that, you will think about that, you can be also at the bad mood and so on. Maybe you will focus, oh, I need to do that tomorrow and so on, okay. Preserve yourself. Personally, I put plane modes every day at 7, 8 o'clock, and this finish, switch off. I'm with my family, I enjoyed the movie or the documentary, I'm completely in. I don't want to see a problem before sleeping, okay? With my company, my office, and so on. No, I don't want to see that, okay? Tomorrow is okay. I will have fresh eyes, fresh minds, and so on. Okay, same. I will advise you for the next key for the happy morning. Don't wake up with the rush of checking your emails. It's directly an aggression, especially those who check the social media, the emails, and then the the news. Most of the time, okay, bon, I want to get back to my cocoon. I don't want to wake up when I see the different bad news and so on. So the same principle to manage yourself before sleeping is very important, to be in a good mood before sleeping. So this is also a kind of ritual you will bring. Watch some positive things. Watch some. Don't watch the news before. Breaking news: a war in Syria, a war in Middle East, and so on. Avoid that. What's the point to see that? You can have this information before, but 1 hour before, check, I don't know, some beautiful landscape on different channels, BBC, Discovery, and so on is beautiful, is positive, and so on. Check something positive. Like this, you will go to sleep without stress, anxiety, and so on. It's really the notion of manage yourself. Know thyself, and you will know the secret of the God and universe is a part of it. So reading is very good old techniques, but reading half an hour just before sleeping is good for the structure of your mind, the visualization. It's, let's say, it's a good way to be tired. Your eyes will be a little bit tired, so it allows you to sleep properly. And it's good for visualization, memorization, stimulation of creativity. It's good for grammar, vocabulary, and so on and so forth. So it's good for everything. And it's calm, basically. Mindfulness, when you practice mindfulness during your day, you have more chance to activate the notion of lucid dreams. Lux in Latin means light. Lucid dreams means that you are aware that you are sleeping. And it's just open up the door of your consciousness, because it's like a simulation. You can do whatever you want. It's amazing when it's happened. So the fact to be aware of mindfulness, you will have the same. I'm in the present time. When you repeat that, or I am conscious or not, I am aware or not, and then I am dreaming or not. During the day, more and more, when you practice that for mindfulness, the present is a gift, the present is a gift, you will have these habits in your dreams. So after a while, maybe you say, the present is a gift, okay, I'm in present, but I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming. And this is lucid dream. The more you practice during the day the mindfulness, the more chance you have to have the experience of lucid dreams, which is just kind of miracle. Very important to have a kind of rite of ritual, like I don't know, to put some kind of music, relaxing music, to have some candles, some incense, whatever, but you just prepare, because it will, like, you know, Pavlov bell, associating the dog with the bell and the food. Every time you are doing the belt, hearing that, the dog is salivating. Okay, it's the same for you. If you activate this process of rite ritual before sleeping, you are in a process of accessing to this state of mind, mindset of calm. This is important too. Or it can be listen to audiobook. Personally, I do a lot. I love audiobooks. It's a little bit like activating the inner child, you know, like when you're a kid and you have a storyteller, your parents, for instance, and then you have a beautiful voice with the beauty of the sentences, the vocabulary, and the beautiful feminine or masculine voice, and then you go, and sometimes it's very far, and you know that you like it, but you cannot anymore to pay attention, and then you go and you sleep, and this is super nice. Very important if you have a shower and so on. A cold shower is better than a hot shower. Why? Because it reduces your body temperature and it allows you to, because when you wake up the morning, your body reduces the temperature, and so it's accessing, is not stimulating cold water, it's the other way around. For example, hot bath, a warm bath before sleeping is very bad. Is you feel that you're gonna be dizzy and then you have more chance to sleep. No, it's the contrary. Okay, so I invite you, if you want to take a shower before, you can take a hot shower and then you finish by a few seconds of cold shower. I invite you also to visualize before sleeping, like gratitude feeling, to visualize the key point, the milestone of your journey, of your day, and to have corrective action. Okay, thank you for that. So I learned this. Oh, I could have improved like this. And you visualize rapidly, a few minutes, and so on. So like this, you have the notion of preparation for the next day, and you are in the process of, let's say, your gratitude, you're grateful. So important to go to sleep and to wake up more or less at the same period, because you have a inner watch and you respect this rhythm. Important as well to be excited in the sense of to say, okay, I'm gonna explore like Indiana Jones, you know, the sleep, actually, the night, and so on. Personally, I'm like a kid. Okay, I told you already, for inner child. I wake up the morning, yes, we're gonna play. Like I have a lot of activities stimulating me, and I love it because I'm enthusiastic. Okay, I give a little, I have my mindset positive, let's say. So I'm happy to wake up. Okay, sometimes I could sleep more, but I say, no, I have so many things to do, and I like it. It's like playing. Fragments of happiness, different ones. Even it's tiny, it's maybe innocent. Some people would say, oh, it's basic life, actually. Yeah, it's basic life. But I make my life extraordinary because my eyes are like this, okay? It's, the beauty is in the eyes of those who see it, okay? It's the same principle. So, but basically, so I wake up, I'm very excited, but when I go to sleep, I'm super happy as well, because usually my day is intensive, so I'm quite tired. And in parallel of that, I know that I will discover new perception, maybe astral travel, new experience with the invisible world, and so on. So it's a kind of treasure. So I'm really happy of that. So it is really balanced life, actually. You're happy to go to sleep, you sleep better, you wake up, you are fresher, you have more force, more resources, and then you reach fulfillment, okay, fulfilled. Well, this is only one key for you to shape your master key to open up the door of consciousness. It's up to you to decide. And also, as you know, all the roads lead to Rome and to home. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.